Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right in. I want you to imagine the visceral panic of waking up tomorrow morning to news of a historic, overnight market meltdown. You haven't even rolled out of bed yet, right? You grab your phone and a notification flashes across the screen telling you that thousands of your hard-earned dollars have seemingly just vanished into thin air. Social media is completely flooded with panic. The financial news channels, they're blasting words like meltdown, collapse, and historic sell-off. Your friends are texting you in an absolute frenzy, asking if you sold or if you're getting out. But here's the crazy part. At that exact same moment, two totally different investors are looking at the exact same crashing market, but they're having completely opposite reactions. On the one hand, we've got an investor who is absolutely terrified, sweating bullets, and ready to just smash that panic button. But on the other hand, we have an investor who is just quietly smiling. Now, hold on. They aren't smiling because they enjoy losing money. Nobody likes that. It's because the smiling investor understands a fundamental truth about wealth preservation that the panicked investor just totally misses. And it is perfectly captured by this quote: "Market crashes don't destroy wealth. Bad decisions during market crashes do." You see, the smiling investor knows that the crash itself isn't the final chapter. It's actually just a test of their financial foundation. And if we look back historically, this plays out time and time again. Literally every single generation believes their specific crash is the one that's going to permanently break the system, right? We saw it in 1929 with the Great Depression, in 1987 with Black Monday, the 2000 dot-com bubble, the 2008 global financial crisis, and of course, most recently with COVID in 2020. Every single time people were convinced the financial system was done for. Yet, time and time again, what happens? The market eventually recovers to reach new, unprecedented highs. The investors who built real, life-changing wealth weren't the ones who magically predicted these crashes. No way. They were the ones who knew exactly what to do while everyone else was stampeding for the exits. So, let's get into Section 1, the psychology of panic. What's truly fascinating is that most people don't actually lose money because they picked terrible companies. Financial ruin rarely comes from bad math or bad research. Actually, people lose their money because they let their emotions take the driver's seat. To see why, let's imagine a scenario where two people own the exact same investment. They bought in at the exact same price for the exact same amount. Then, out of nowhere, bam, the market drops by 35%. That is a massive, totally stomach-turning drop. Faced with that steep 35% drop, investor one completely panics. They convince themselves that this is just the beginning of the end and they sell everything just to stop the bleeding. Meanwhile, investor two, they do absolutely nothing. They literally just sit on their hands. Now, if we fast forward 3 years to a recovered market, you're going to see that investor one permanently locked in their losses. They made that paper loss a reality. But investor two, they completely recovered and honestly might even be ahead. The investment didn't change at all. The behavior, not the math, was the ultimate deciding factor. So, what's going on here? Well, our hidden enemy is literally inside our own heads. Our brains are evolutionarily hardwired for survival. Think about it. Thousands of years ago, if a dangerous predator jumped out of the bushes, you ran. You didn't sit around calculating probabilities, you fled to stay alive. The problem is, our modern brains mistakenly treat a dropping portfolio like a physical predator. It triggers that exact same primal survival instinct, screaming at us to run away and sell. But here's the catch. The stock market actually rewards people who can stay completely calm when their deepest instincts are screaming at them to flee. Which brings us to Section 2, stop treating investing like gambler. Overcoming that biology brings us to a massive pitfall for so many people, which is confusing true investing with mere speculation. Speculation is all about chasing rapid riches and daily excitement. It's always asking, what will make me rich the absolute fastest? True investing, on the other hand, takes a major step back and asks, what will steadily build wealth over the next 20 years? These are two entirely different mindsets, but they're operating in the exact same market. And you see this happen most clearly during bull markets. People get completely distracted by whatever shiny, exciting trend is dominating the media headlines. Artificial intelligence, cannabis, electric vehicles, crypto, meme stocks, you name it. The media absolutely loves these stories because, let's face it, excitement drives attention and clicks. But people forget one crucial thing. Excitement does not always equal wealth. In fact, it almost never does over the long haul. Think about planting a little tree in your backyard. Constantly checking your portfolio is like digging up that newly planted tree every single week just to check if the roots are growing. It's completely counterproductive. Just like a tree needs time and protection to survive heavy storms, successful investing requires giving your assets time rather than constantly trying to time the market. When you check your portfolio daily, you're essentially interrupting the very process you're hoping will succeed. So how do we break away from all that daily noise and the temptation to keep digging up our tree? Well, ask yourself this one stark question before buying any asset. If the market closed tomorrow for the next 5 years, would I still be comfortable owning this? Really let that sink in for a second. Because if the answer is no, you're simply chasing trends. You aren't investing, you're just speculating. The greatest investors out there focus on owning quality assets that create value year after year. And they know that sometimes patience is literally your greatest advantage. All right, moving on to Section 3, Wealth's Financial Shock Absorbers. To survive these totally inevitable market downturns, we need to take back control. Imagine you're driving down a road completely covered in massive potholes. First, picture driving that road in a car with zero suspension. Every single bump feels catastrophic, right? The ride is absolutely miserable. Now picture driving the exact same road, but this time your vehicle has excellent suspension. You can't fix a bumpy market road. The potholes are still going to be there. But if your finances have excellent suspension, those exact same bumps simply won't destroy your journey. You just glide right over them. And here's the best part. These financial shock absorbers aren't some complex trading algorithms or super secret Wall Street strategies. They are actually just 3 highly practical, everyday habits. Number 1, having a solid emergency fund. Number 2, avoiding unnecessary debt. And number 3, living below your means. That's it. These are the actual shock absorbers that determine whether you easily survive a financial crash or whether your engine falls out on the very first pothole. Because smart investing actually begins long before you ever buy your first share of anything. Just consider someone who unfortunately loses their job during a recession. If they're living paycheck to paycheck, loaded with high-interest debt, every single choice they make is driven by pure desperation. But look at the exact same job loss for someone who has savings and a robust emergency fund. That person, they simply have options. Building this baseline stability fundamentally transforms every potential disaster from a desperate, panicked situation right into a manageable one. Which leaves us with this final, absolutely critical thought. We all know the next crash isn't a question of if, it's strictly a question of when. But when that next inevitable crash hits, having those shock absorbers built into your life gives you the ultimate priceless asset, the power to choose your outcome. So ask yourself today, when the next crash arrives, will your finances force you to panic or will they give you the power to choose? Take the time to build your shock absorbers, protect your investments from your own evolutionary instincts, and you'll be well on your way to real long-term wealth. Thanks for diving into this explainer with me today. I hope you walk away feeling empowered and completely prepared for whatever the market throws your way.